Good morning, my dear students. Today in this class, let us know the second unit, that is approaches and techniques to teaching English as a second language. Under that, first subpoint, bilingual approach meaning, principle and procedure. And second, structural approach meaning and principles, selection and gradation of structures, ways of teaching structures. So my dear student, let us know very first, that is a bilingual approach meaning, principle and procedure. Meaning of bilingual method. The bilingual method is comparatively a recent method proposed by C.J. Dodson of Wales. Dodson believes that this method is very effective in teaching a foreign language because his experience on pupils yielded desired result. The bilingual method means a method where two languages, that is, the language to be learned and the mother tongue, are used. A child in learning the mother tongue forms the concepts and learns the mother tongue words. Simultaneously, at the beginning, he grasps the situation and learns the language. Consequently, the advocates of the bilingual method believes that it is wastage of time to create the situation when we are trying to teach him a foreign language. They advocate that teaching learning process is facilitated if only mother tongue equivalents are given to the pupils without duplicating or reconditioning the situations. The word bilingual applies to a person who knows two languages. The first language of a child is that of his parents, but a second language is learned either for purpose of education or because of historical, political or social reasons. Our country is an example of it, where people are required to become not only bilingual but trilingual also. The word bilingual is generally used to refer to any degree of knowledge of two languages by the same individual. This makes it obligatory on the part of that individual to have mastered the basic structure of two languages. When we use the word bilingual as a method of teaching a foreign language, we simply mean the use of the child's native language as media to learn an unknown foreign language. We can define bilingual as a true bilingual is described as a person who can jump from one language to another easily and talk fluently about in any situation in either the mother tongue or the target language with equal case. Now I am going to explain the principles of bilingual method. There are the following principles followed in the bilingual method. Get first. In bilingual method, to make use mother tongue to convey the meaning of words, sentences, and items to the learners. As the meaning of words, sentence, items can be best made clear in mother tongue, they may remain without the help of mother tongue. The use of mother tongue saves the teacher from creating situations for making the meaning of English sentences and words clear to the student. He is not required to build situations for this purpose. While teaching English, we have only to provide the child with the mother tongue equivalent without duplicating the situation. Only equivalents are to be given in the bilingual method for the words in the mother tongue or vice versa, and the learner in the gainer of two languages side by side. Mother tongue is used only for the explanation and the word meaning and to only by the teacher of English class. Only the teacher has to use the mother tongue. The understanding of words and sentences in foreign languages can be made easier by the use of mother tongue. Bilingual method is a combination of the direct method and the grammar translation method. Now the next is procedure of teaching bilingual method. Procedures are the step-by-step measures to execute a method. These step-by-step measures are called techniques and will be discussed next. Common procedure for the grammar translation method including the following. The class reads a text written in the second language. Student translates the passage from the second language to their mother tongue. Student translate new words from the second language to their mother tongue. Student is given a grammar rule and derived from the example, they apply the rule by using the new words. Student memorizes the vocabulary of the second language. Student memorizes grammar rules. Errors made by the student are corrected by providing the right answers. This is the process that is used while employing the grammar translation method. The other one are like approach, method, technique. Those are a procedural variation of a teaching strategy, a general rule or principle that guides the whole process of teaching, a sound philosophy and the orientation which used as base in the process of instruction, guiding students by following an established pattern steps of teaching, a viewpoint that suggests what teaching procedure is to be used, embracing the entire spectrum of the teaching learning process. An overall plan for the presentation of a lesson is must, guiding teaching from planning to evaluate, making teaching an organized and systematic process, developing the teacher's own distinctive way of carrying out some aspect of instructions. So this is the bilingual approach, meaning, principle and procedure. Ways Good morning, my dear students. Today, so my dear students, let us know the very first unit, that is a bilingual approach and techniques meaning to teaching English as a second language. Meaning of bilingual approach. The bilingual method is comparatively a recent method proposed by C.J. Dodson of Wales. Selection and Dodson believes that this method is very teaching effective. So, my dear students, let us know very first because that is a bilingual approach meaning desired and procedure. The bilingual method meaning of bilingual two languages. The bilingual language to be learned comparatively a recent method proposed by C.J. Dodson in learning of the mother tongue. Dodson believes that concept and the learns very the mother tongue effective in simultaneously a foreign language. He grasps his situations and learns the language. Consequently, the bilingual method of the bilingual method believes that languages wastage of the language to be learned and the when mother tongue are trying to teach a child in learning the mother tongue. They advocate that forms the concepts learning process is facilitated mother tongue if words. Only mother tongue at the beginning he grasps the situation to the and learns the language, duplicating consequently reconditioning the advocates of the bilingual method believes bilingual applies to a wastage of who knows two languages. The first language of a child is that of teach him a foreign language. But a second language is learned that either for purpose learning of education facilitated because of historical, only mother tongue social reasons are given to the our country is an example of it where people are required to become not only bilingual but bilingual applies to a person who knows two languages. The word bilingual is the first language of a child is that any degree of knowledge of two languages. But a second language is learned either for purpose of education or on the because of historical, political have or mastered the basic structure of two languages. Our country is an example when we use the word bilingual as a method of teaching not only bilingual, we simply mean the use of the child's native language. The word bilingual is generally used to refer to any degree of knowledge of two languages. We can define bilingual as this true bilingual is described as a person who can jump from one language to another easily and talk fluently about in when we use the word bilingual either the mother tongue or the target language, we simply mean the use of the child's native language as media to learn an unknown foreign language. We can define bilingual as a true bilingual is described as a person who can jump from one language to another easily and talk fluently about in any situation in either the mother tongue as a target language with equal can be best made clear the principles of bilingual method. There are the following help of mother principles followed. The use of mother tongue saves the teacher from creating in bilingual method for making the use mother tongue to convey the meaning of words sentences. He is not required to learn situation for as a meaning of words. While teaching English, we have only to provide the child mother tongue. They may remain without duplicating the situation. Help of mother tongue. Only equivalent the use of mother tongue in the bilingual the teacher method from creating for the words in the mother tongue for making the meaning of English and the learner in the gainer and words clear to the student. He is not required to build situation. Mother tongue is used only for the teaching English and the word have only to provide the child with the mother tongue only by the teacher of English the situation. Only the equivalents are to be given in the bilingual method. For the words in the mother tongue, the understanding of words and sentences in foreign languages can be made easier by the use of mother tongue. Mother tongue is
Bilingual
used
method
only
is a
for the
combination of the
explanation and the
direct
word
method and
meaning
the grammar
and
translation method.
only by the
Now the
teacher
next
of
is procedure
English
of
class.
teaching bilingual
Only the
method.
teacher has to use the
Procedures
mother
are the
tongue.
step-by-step measures to execute a
The understanding
method.
of words and
These
sentences in foreign languages
step-by-step
can be
measures
made
are called
easier
techniques
by the use
and
of
will be
mother tongue.
discussed.
Bilingual method is a combination of the
Discussed
direct method and the
next.
grammar translation
Common
method.
procedure for the grammar
next is
translation method,
procedure of
including the
teaching
following.
bilingual
The
The class reads a text written
procedures
in the
are the
second
step-by-step
language.
measures to execute a
Student
method.
translates
These
the passage from the second
step-by-step
language to
measures are
their
called
mother
techniques
tongue.
and will be
Student
discussed.
translate new words
Discussed
from the second
next.
language to their mother
Common
tongue.
procedure for the grammar
Student is
translation
given a
method,
grammar rule
including
and
the
derived from
following.
the example. They apply
The class
rule
reads
by
a
using
text
the
written in
new
the
second
second
language. Student
memorizes
Student
the
translates
vocabulary
the passage
of the
from the
second
second language
language
to their mother
Student
tongue.
memorizes
Student
grammar
translates
rules.
new
Errors
words
made by the
from
student
the
are corrected
second
by
language to
providing
their
the right
mother
answers.
Student
This is
is
the
given a
process,
grammar rule and derived from the example
that is used
they
while
apply the
employing the
rule
grammar
by using the
translation
new
method.
words. Student
The other one
memorizes
like
the
approach
vocabulary of
method
the second
technique.
language.
Those are
Student
a,
memorizes
procedural
grammar
variation
rules.
of a teaching strategy.
Errors made by
a
the
general
student
rule
are corrected
or
by
principle
providing
that
the
guides
right
the whole
answers.
process of teaching.
This is the
A sound
process,
philosophy and the orientation which
that is
as
used
base
while
in the
employing the
process
grammar
of
translation
instruction.
method.
Guiding students by following
The other
an
one are like
established
approach,
pattern, steps
method,
of teaching.
technique.
A viewpoint that suggests
procedural
what teaching procedure is to be
variation of a
used.
teaching strategy,
Embracing the entire
a general
spectrum
rule
of the
or
teaching
principle
learning
that guides the
process.
whole process of teaching.
An overall plan
A sound
for
philosophy
and the orientation which
presentation
is
of a
as base in
lesson
the process
is
of
must.
instruction.
Guiding
Students
from
by
planning
following
to
an
evaluate.
established
Making
pattern,
teaching an
steps
organized
of
and
teaching.
systematic process.
A viewpoint that suggests
Developing the teacher's
what teaching
own
procedure is to
distinctive
be
way of carrying
used.
out some
Embracing the
aspect
entire
of
spectrum of the
instructions.
teaching learning
this is
process.
The bilingual approach, meaning
An overall plan for the ways of
presentation
teaching
of a
structures.
lesson.
So, my dear
is
student,
must.
let us know very
Guiding
first
teaching
that is
from
a
planning
bilingual
to
approach,
evaluate.
meaning
Making
principle and
teaching an
procedure.
organized and systematic process.
Meaning of bilingual
Developing
method.
the teacher's
The
own
bilingual
distinctive way
method
of
is
carrying
comparatively
out
a
some
recent
aspect
method
of
proposed by
instructions.
C.J. Dodson.
So this is the
of
bilingual
Wales.
approach, meaning
Dodson
principle
believes
and
that
procedure.
this method.
Now let us know the second subunit, that is structural approach. Its meaning, principles, selection and gradation of structures, ways of teaching structures. Very first, let us know the meaning of structural approach. The different arrangements of words in one accepted style or the others is called a structure. The structure may be a complete utterance or it may be a part of some large pattern. Such different types of arrangements are called structures. The structures are tools of language. Structural approach is based on the theory of behaviorist. To teach language through this approach, we have to understand the pattern and structure of the language. Each and every language has its own structure. Every language differs structurally. In the learning of foreign language, mastery of structures is more important than the acquisition of vocabulary. This is a new approach to teach English, but not a method of teaching. In this approach, structures are taught by creating situations. Now, next, let us learn principles of structural approach. Language as system. Very first, language as system. Under that, language is system of structure and signals. Students can learn very well if the teaching is according with its structure and signals in scientific way. Second one is importance of people's activity. The structural approach puts more emphasis on people's activity than on the teachers. It is the child who is the learner. So, he or she must be actively involved in the teaching learning process. Next is importance of speech. The structural approach regards such as more important than reading and writing. Speech is the necessary means of fixing firmly or groundwork. Next, forming language habit. Importance of the formulation of language habit in arranging words in proper pattern. The learners should acquire the habit of arranging words in English standard sentence pattern through language drills. Next, language learning may be very easy if language is presented into small structure which clears the concept of the language entirely. The effectiveness of the language learning depends upon the quantity of the subject matter. If there is proper gradation of the subject matter, the teaching may be very effective. In the language, to learn it to be too effective depends upon the listening and speaking skills. The principles of oral work. Oral work is the basis and all the most are built up from it. Creation of different types of meaningful situation by dramatization, facial expression, actions, etc. is stressed upon. Mastery of structures is very important. Now the next is selection of structures. A question arises that how should a teacher select the structure to teach the learner? This involves the selection of structures. In the structural approach, mainly the focus will be on structures. The following principles should be kept in mind while selecting structures. Very first, usefulness. Second is productivity. Third, simplicity. Fourth, teachability. Fifth, frequency. Sixth, range. Seventh, coverage. And eighth, learnability. So, what is the first structure? Usefulness means the structure which are more frequent in use should be introduced first. For the productivity, if the structures are productive, other structures can be built upon. For example, we have two sentences patterns, that is here Mr. Roy, the former pattern is productive because he was framed many sentences on the same pattern like he is there. Third, simplicity. The simplicity of the structure depends upon the form and the meaning. Fourth, teachability. Items easy from teaching point of view. Frequency. The structures must be selected with a high frequency of occurrence. Sixth, range. To know in how many contexts it is applicable. 7. Coverage means a word covering a number of meanings, for example, meals. 8. Learnability means teachers should focus on the items that are easy for the students to learn, should be given priority first. The next one is grading of structure. Grading means grading. Here, grading structures means putting them in a suitable order. Here, the purpose is to arrange according to their usability and difficulty. Grading easier and most usable structure before difficult and less usable ones. Structural approach supports the teaching of English as a foreign language through the teaching of the structures of the language. The question which structural approach attempts to answer primarily are: should the structural items and sentence patterns to be graded? How shall they be graded? And what should be fundamental principles of grading the structural items? Through gradation of structure, we can get answers for the following question. Very first, gradation means grouping. In structural approach, gradation of structure can be taught by using the following pattern that should be with the taught at the early stages. Very first is a grouping. Phonetic grouping mean group according to sound. For example, cat, rat, mat, etc. B. Lexical grouping. Grouping according to words used in same situation. Grammatical grouping mean pattern of sentences similar should be taught together. D. Semantic grouping
mean words having similar meaning grouped together.
Structure grouping means selecting items that are fit for each other. The second one is sequencing. Grammatical sequencing mean it will tell that for it will follow the structure. Example, I was watching a movie. I was watching a movie with my friend. Second, B1, semantic sequencing means a word having different meanings. Example, the ball is there under the bed. There are many balls in the bag. C, lexical sequencing. It tells which word follows which. Example, sit, stand, come, go, high, low, etc. So, my dear students, we have finished the structural approach, meaning, principle, selection.